no doubt will to Obama supporters, but it is a perfectly appropriate characterization. Obama's entire campaign is built on class warfare and human envy. The so-called change he peddles is not new. We've seen it before. It is change that diminishes individual liberty for the soft authoritarianism of socialism. It is a populist appeal that disguises government-mandated wealth redistribution as tax cuts for the middle class, falsely blames capitalism for the social policies and government corruption, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, that led to the current turmoil in our financial markets, fuels contempt for commerce and trade by stigmatizing those who run successful small and large businesses, and exploits human imperfection as a justification for a massive expansion of centralized government. Obama's appeal to the middle class is an appeal to the proletariat, as an infamous philosopher once described it, about which a mythology has been created. Rather than pursue the American dream, he insists that the American dream has arbitrary limits, limits Obama would set for the rest of us. Today it's $250,000 for businesses and even less for individuals. Now, if the individual dares to succeed beyond the limits set by Obama, he's punished, for he's now officially rich. The value of his physical and intellectual labor must be confiscated in greater amounts for the good of the proletariat, the so-called middle class. And so it is that the middle class, the birth child of capitalism, is both celebrated and enslaved for its own good and the greater good. The so-called hope Obama represents, therefore, is not hope at all. It is the misery of his utopianism imposed on the individual. When I wrote this, as you can tell, I was well into writing Ameritopia at the time. I'll finish it. I said this 6 years ago. Unlike past Democrat presidential candidates, Obama is a hardened ideologue. He's not interested in playing around the edges. He seeks fundamental change to remake society. And if the Democrats can control Congress with supermajorities led by Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, he will get much of what he demands. Of course, at the time, there wasn't Obamacare, but he got it, didn't he? The question is whether enough Americans understand what's at stake in this election, and if they do, whether they care. Is the allure of a charismatic demagogue so strong that the usually sober American people are willing to risk an Obama presidency? After all, it ensnared these former Reagan officials. And while America will certainly survive, it will do so in many respects as a different place. October 25, 2008.